Hey guys, it's me, the Nivea Sart, coming at you with a deck profile for Cubics. Yeah, this is basically a re-upload because now I have all the cards to show. So I'm going to delete the previous video and post this video up afterwards, just so all the cards are physically here. So I'm just going to get into it. This is going to be like an in-depth one. Of course, I'll put the deck list in the description as always. So monster lineup is play set of Crimson Nova. Crimson Nova is your main win condition. It's a 3k beat set. You can't be affected by any monsters. Activated effects whose original attack is 3k or less. And when he destroys a monster, he can attack again during that same battle phase. And at the end of the turn, he burns both you and your opponent for 3k. And that's if he's still on the field. Playset of Duza. Duza is basically the Ukabaka of the deck. He dumps any cubic monster that he any cubic card. So it's cubic monsters, spells, and traps into the graveyard. So you can use him for a lot of your startup plays. He's basically the combo starter of the deck. The only other way to start the deck up and get it going is to probably use Summoner Monk. But he's subject to Ash anyway, and he's also subject to Ogre. That's why a really good side to this is Shuffle Reborn, but I'll get into that later because I'll probably be doing combo videos and do a video where I make like little suggestions about how to improve your build for Cubics because of how long I've been playing with it. I feel like I'm now really good with it, and I can probably give a lot of people advice on how to best play it. Also, Duza has this other effect where when a monster sent to the graveyard, he can gain 200 attack for every differently named monster in your graveyard. So when the monster sent to your graveyard, let's say Nova was sent to your graveyard and you had a Vijam in your graveyard already, it would be Nova and Vijam in your graveyard, and then he would gain 200 for each differently named monster. So Nova, Vijam, that's 400. Next is Vijam. Vijam is the spine of the deck. This is all basically your core, the core cards, and that's why you run 3 of each because they're who you want to see the most in your opening hand. But Vijam is basically your stall card. He can't be destroyed by battle, and when you attack into him, when your opponent attacks into him, he can become a continuous spell card that places a cubic counter on your opponent's monster. So that particular monster then becomes Fiendish Chain because that's basically what a cubic counter does. It negates the effect of that monster, and it prevents that monster from attacking as well. I run 1 of each of the Cubic Kings, Indoria, Doomvolt, Vulcan, Dragni, and Gera, Guile. They all have the same basic unified effect of when they're special summoned from the hand, they burn your opponent for 800. Also, as you're going up in the they all kind of float into each other by being in battle. They don't have to destroy a monster or anything. They just have to be in the battle and survive it. So you could attack life points directly and do what you have to do. They'll bring back these guys, the Vijams, as sacrifices to your next monster, and then you'll sacrifice them and then go into that monster. But after you search that monster using the whatever card's effect. The hierarchy is pretty difficult to get through unless you're using other cards to manipulate that. So we'll get into that as well when we get to trap cards and spell cards. I run 1 of each of the cubic beasts. The level 3 and the level 4 have the ability to attack multiple times. Garoodia can attack twice, and Gundil can attack up to 3 times. Special summoning them without using their summoning conditions is kind of a bad idea, but at the same time, if you're not using your karmas to their full potential because you're afraid of the Ash or the Ogre or whatever, then I would suggest running them that way. 2 Summoner Monks he's your secondary combo starter. He gets into a whole lot of plays, which we'll go over because I'm going to definitely be uploading those combo videos very soon now. I've already recorded one, so I'm definitely going to be uploading that sometime later on today. But he'll get into a whole bunch of combos with your Duza that can get you rank 4 Xyz plays. Also, he'll get into a combo with your Vylon Prism, which will get you essentially your Psy-Framelord Omega, who's pretty important. Hold on, let me adjust this a little bit so it's all on the camera. The most recent card that I added was Genex ally Birdman. I'm kind of sad that he's at 1, but I can understand because that Mist Valley FTK is pretty fucking gnarly and pretty fucking consistent. But with Birdman, he presents a lot of rank 7 play or level 7 synchro plays to you that is actually kind of advantageous to you in the meta right now. The other new card I added recently was Max C because it's Max C. It's also a ash baiter, so it's like they like once you try to max C something, you know they're gonna throw the ash out there because they don't want you drawing, especially if they figure out that you're playing cubics. Because if you draw into the OTK, they're almost always done. Predaplant Chlamydosundew because it actually provides easier ways to get into the OTK. Now that's your monster lineup, 22 monsters. For your spell cards, you got 3 Karma. It's an attack modulation thing, but it's also your Rhoda of the deck when it's in your graveyard. Basically, you'll use this card, and then you'll pitch when you're playing this on field. You'll play it. You'll target a cubic monster, and then that cubic monster has this thing where it's like you pitch the Vijams from your hand or your deck, and for each Vijam pitch, that cubic monster will gain 800 attack power. So your Nova could get up to like 5.4k, which is a done game, unless your opponent has like Mirror Force or something like that. But because most people aren't playing really defensive cards or defensively right now, you can actually run Cubic at them and pretty much not suffer too many consequences unless you're playing True King Dinosaur, which kind of plays defensively, or you're playing the Chaos Max build of Blue Eyes because that also plays kind of defensively. But anyway, if you use your monster effect with Karma to summon a Vijam during your opponent's turn, this card gets destroyed, your opponent's life points get in half, and like I said, banishing this card from your graveyard automatically provides you a search of any cubic monster. So, pretty dope. Cubic Wave, basically a Fiendish Chain in the graveyard, and basically on the field, it is like a limiter removal. So it's like, you target a cubic monster, and that cubic monster doubles its attack. However, you also target a monster on your opponent's side of the field, and it cuts that opponent's attack in half. So, though this card may not work on like a card, you can still target it if the card can still be targeted. But if it can't be affected by its effect to double it, it doesn't matter if Nova's on the field, because Nova's attack doubled is 6k. Like, that's a beat stick that almost no monster, pretty much no monster has. So it's like automatic game. Especially if once this goes to the graveyard, if you have cubic monsters in your graveyard, you can banish this and a set number of cubic monsters, depending on how many monsters are on your opponent's side of the field, and it'll automatically chain them. Let me go a little bit faster. 3 goods because of the fact that it's goods, and it's good to dump cards like Wave and Karma and Unification graveyard. Twin Twister because I like it better than Cosmic Cyclone. Basically, discard a card, destroy 2 cards or 2 spell or trap cards on the field. It's good to discard these. It's good to discard Unification when we get to that. 2 Recurring Nightmare. It's good, especially when you're doing stuff like dumping your Nova into the graveyard on purpose, so you can get your Vijam back. So if you have to stall, you can. It's a good way to recycle both Nova and Vijam, because like I said, they're an important part of the deck. Next is your traps, and it's 3 Unification, basically your poly of the deck. Also, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it when a cubic monster is removed from the field that's in any way, shape, or form. It's really vague context, so that means whether it's put back in your hand, thrown into the deck by Castell, put into the graveyard because it was destroyed by battle card effect, banished because it was banished by a card effect or whatever. Basically, you can banish this and you'll be able to summon a level 4 or lower cubic monster that is immune to destruction effects by spell and trap and can't be destroyed by battle. Next is Cubic Rebirth. I started running these because of the fact that it is a quick way to get into a level 4 cubic monster after you've negated an attack. So it's another quick way to summon a Duza during your opponent's turn. That way you can use Duza's effect during your opponent's turn and set up plays for the next turn. It's also a quick way to set up a higher level monster from the hierarchies, from the beast and the king hierarchies, because you can just summon those monsters and then use karma to pump them up. Cubic Mandala, because it's a good way to disrupt your opponent by making it so basically a monster on their side of the field becomes a drain skill. So it's kind of funny. So you'll just a monster that was destroyed gets reborn back, basically gets a cubic counter placed on it, has its attack reduced to 0, and then on top of that, if it stays on the field, it's basically acting as a skill drain for the rest of the monsters on the field. This is really good against zoos, but we'll go into that later on. And then last but not least, 2 Metal Reflexons, because they're generic trap monsters. And they're level 10 generic trap monsters at that, so it allows you to go into your rank 10 plays faster. Next, real fast, is the extra deck, which is 2 Trinity Nova. You can go into these if you're siding cards like Dimension Guardian and what's it called, Chain Material. We'll go into that during the combo videos though. 2 Greedy Venom Dragons, because it helps with your OTK. Clearwing Synchro Dragon, because you can. Psy-Framelord Zeta, because you can. Psy-Framelord Omega, because of the fact that you can create the Karma Loop with Omega. It's a real good bait for those ashes. Karen Gorgon, because targeting removal is basically not a good idea while he's on the field. So if somebody tries to like Cosmic Cyclone, like a card that I have on the field, like let's say somebody tried to Cosmic Cyclone Karma, so I couldn't use Karma's effect when they destroyed it. They Cosmic Cyclone Karma and put it in the graveyard, or I could just discard a material and then banish a different card that's on the graveyard, because it's a targeted effect. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it will work. I've only ever used its effect when playing against Dragons and when somebody tries to Dragon me. So I don't know if that's actually the case, but I could put that to the test in like YGO Pro or something like that, because it doesn't let you do illegal plays. Sky Palace Garoodia is one of your rank 10s. You can remove a material and then it will pop something, and then it will burn your opponent for 1,000. And then of course your rank train plays, because they are a staple in any cubic build, including the OTK. So that's basically my whole entire deck profile, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, this is a re-upload, and I'll be coming at you guys with those combo videos very, very soon. Probably later on today, I will upload the first of the, I guess it's going to be probably 3 parts of the combo videos for this particular build in my side deck. So we'll go into that. Remember, the deck list will be in the description, and I'll probably put my side deck in there too, just so you can see that. Denivius Art out.